Happy New Year, everyone. David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center. And it's our favorite time of the week and our favorite way to kick off the new year, taking a look at some cool new knives that have just hit our shelves. Let's check them out. All right, a good way to kick off the new year is with a new exclusive, a new Bestech exclusive, with MagnaCut steel. This is the Tardis, of course, if you haven't recognized it already, a very eye-catching, distinctive design from Ostapel, kicked up a notch now with MagnaCut steel. So you've got your great edge retention, your great stainlessness, and great toughness all in one kind of wonder steel these days. $95 for this knife right here, $94.95 to be precise, which must be precise, at least for a little bit, before we let things slide, you know?
For an inexact amount.
3.15 inch blade, two-tone, with a two-tone white and black handle as well. Very distinctive, as mentioned. Good amount of grip on this knife. As you can see with my slightly larger than average hands, I have plenty of length to get a full gorilla grip on that knife. And then you've got a big, meaty, ham-fisted blade to go along with it. That sounds derogatory. It's not meant to be. Big, strong cleaver. Great for push cuts, powerful push cuts especially. And the geometry is going to be pretty good for slicing capabilities. It's not a super thick wedge, since it is thin enough here and the grind is high enough with a flat geometry as well. It's going to be quite nice. We have got ball bearings in the pivot. We have got a deep carry pocket clip on the right side. We have got an inset liner lock. There is the closed profile, and I think this really shows off the cool two-tone effects. It's why we went with white and black on this one. We figured the satin and black on the blade would be a pretty cool complement there. I think it really shows off in this particular configuration. Thumb studs work great. You can also reverse flick it, thanks to the full-length fuller along that entire blade, giving you access that way as well. Super cool knife, super good value for MagnaCut steel. Not the least expensive MagnaCut knife on the site. That would be our other exclusive Bestech, the Dundee, which comes in, I think, at about $90 right now, something like that. So great ways to get into this fantastic steel. Next up, we have got some Maserin knives to take a look at, and some pretty fresh feeling, cutting edge feeling Maserins, which, Maserin's always made good stuff, but a lot of their stuff has never felt like it was kind of leading the industry. And these things are staking out a bit of their own territory and feel like they're doing something pretty significant. The first is a limited edition slip joint, which that doesn't necessarily say cutting edge, but wait till you see it. This is the 504D Nexus slip joint. It has a 3.15 inch reverse tanto blade. We'll actually call that a reverse tanto today, Thomas.
Close enough.
It's gonna, in practice, it's gonna be like a straight clip point. Small roses Damascus. The handle, however, is where it gets super interesting. This is 3D printed steel handles, lattice integral steel. It's a single piece 3D printed handle, I should mention. So no seam at the back, all layered up like so. Not gonna be the easiest thing necessarily to clean out if it gets muddy, but that's probably not why you would buy this thing anyway. It is really, really cool. It's not particularly lightweight since we're still dealing with steel for the handles. I mean, this is still a 5-ounce knife with a 3.15 inch blade. So you're not achieving like super weight savings here. It's just more like the technical whiz-bang coolness of it is what you get. You've also got a reversible tail-mounted deep carry pocket clip. Pretty much my favorite combination of words when it comes to describing a pocket clip. I like that very much. But that pocket clip's gonna make it easy to carry if you do want to carry it, and that handle is gonna make it easy to use too, because you can get a pretty full feeling grip on it. So if you needed to push the knife hard, even though it's a non-locking knife, it feels like you could do it. The blade itself is nice. It's a great shape for getting stuff done with a little bit of style. We've got smooth walk and talk, no half stop on this, but easy opening with that full blade cutout right there. Just don't try to Spidey flick it. It's a slip joint. You're not really gonna be able to get that done. But very cool thing right there. Next up, we've got the power folder from Maserin, which we've had an N690 version of before, but they've stepped things up a little bit on two fronts, actually. We do have a new MagnaCut version, which I have one right here, coming in at about $165, and that gives you jungle wear fat carbon for the handles and MagnaCut blade steel for only, it's about $15 more than the N690 version. That is almost a no-brainer upgrade in my opinion. It's not that much more money. You've got a much more premium steel to go with it. More noteworthy, however, is this version right here, which is more expensive. This is $532 and some change, which, did I mention the price on the limited edition Nexus? I did not. This is a $940 knife, so. Only, how many of these were made? I wanna say it was 100. Not many in any case. Yeah.
That's an exact enough number, not many.
100 numbered pieces. This one right here is 10, 010. Anyway, back to the power, sorry. $533 for this one with frost fat carbon and a Damascus blade, but this is not any Damascus blade. This is a MagnaCut core Damascus blade, which I've not seen any, certainly not seen on any other production knives. So for Maserin to be leading the production folding or production knife world with a MagnaCut core Damascus is a pretty cool move on their part. This is serialized. This is number 2. Is this also a limited edition? Yes, it is. Also 100 pieces. So there you go. Italian made, of course, on all of these. The handle is neutral enough to work in a bunch of different grips and hand sizes, I would say. Tail-mounted deep carry pocket clip. I like that. No thumb studs or anything to open the blade because you're using, I believe they call this their power lock, actually. Sorry, they call it the W lock. And it works by pulling this bar back, and you can actually see the mechanism move out there on the back. Now, I have to admit, I've not fully warmed up to this particular execution of this kind of spine style pull lock, like you would see on like the Shark lock, the Snex lock, those sorts of things. I've not particularly warmed up to this iteration of it. It's a little bit, to be a little bit more deliberate in how you do it. It's not as quick and easy and intuitive, and because of the size of the knife and the fact that it's recessed as opposed to sticking up, you have to be real, you have to be like, it only works for me in one kind of position. It's getting a little smoother, I will admit. Maybe I just need more time with it. But it does have the advantage of being ambidextrous. The clip backs that up as well. And it has the the advantage of giving you finger-safe closing action, so your fingers never get near the edge as you close it. So it's a cool thing, and it's cool to see Maserin kind of stepping up their game. At least that's what it feels like from behind the table right here. Check them out. Next up, if you really crave edge retention on your stainless folding pocket knives, S90V is a great choice. It should give you more edge retention than MagnaCut. Not going to be nearly as tough as MagnaCut, so for like really hard use, twisting, beating, shock absorption, that sort of thing. It's not going to do the same thing. But on a folder, how much of that do you really need? That's up for debate. But check this out. We've shown previous versions of this knife just last week, I think, the Artisan Cutlery Holm, starting at like 55 bucks, but those come with an RPM 9 blade, which is good stuff, but it is on the entry-level side of things. If you want more edge retention, these two versions are gonna bring you S9DV. This one right here, especially, for a pretty great price. $110 for this version. That comes with micarta handles and gray titanium bolsters, 3.1 inch modified sheepsfoot style blade. You could call that a modified Wharncliffe. In fact, yeah, it's probably a little more Wharncliffe-y in practice. And this also comes with, as you can see, their secondary safety switch right here. There you go. So it will do two things. It will act in the closed or the open position. So if you don't want the blade to accidentally come loose, you've got it locked into place there. Simply push it back out of the way when you want to open the blade, and then you can lock it down too. So it's less likely to come undone, or the button lock is less likely to come undone as you're actually cutting with it. The downside of how close this is I do find myself sometimes accidentally engaging the secondary lock when I go to close it. So keep that in mind. But if you crave that extra peace of mind with your button lock, this is a really good option for sure. Carries a bit of that, modern traditional vibe with that kind of bolstered look right there. Or you could go full high-tech modern with this S9DV bladed version with a full titanium handle. This is about $199 right now. Same caveats apply, same basic specs. You do have a milled titanium clip on this one as opposed to the fold-over deep carry clip. And as a result, this is also a single-sided clip as opposed to the reversibility that you get of the other version. But if you crave that full tie with S9DV, sub $200 price point is not a bad place to be at all. Next up, we have the Locust, another knife carrying that same button lock with secondary safety mechanism going on. And this is one of those examples where the Artisan and CJRB lines kind of, the lines are a little bit blurred. This is the same rough size, price, and construction and specs as the Artisan Holm, starting at $55, and this is also priced at about $55 right now. 3.15-inch dagger style blade, but this is single beveled. What I do like about having that dagger style grind, even though it's not sharpened at the top, is it basically acts like a big long swedge. So as you're cutting through stuff, all of this potential drag from a flat, flat space here at the top and crisp right angles at the spine are removed. So it's a little easier, moving through angled and curved cuts in particular. Now this one has a really cool like toxic green liner and hardware. Not all of them are that gaudy. This one really stood out to me, but you can get some that are much more subtle looking than this if you like this overall shape. Let's check out the action. You've got an ambidextrous thumb plate here as opposed to thumb studs. And whoops, yeah. It'll still flick open, but you have to be, it's a little bit different than a thumb stud feel, as you can see. I bet it reverse flicks pretty well. Let's try if I can. It's a little high up, but it works quite well. Nice neutral shape to the handle, just like the Holm. So any hand size or finger length configuration will probably have a good time with this knife as an easy to carry, everyday carry. And I suppose it's a little tactical with that dagger style grind, of course. This knife is definitively tactical and definitively more expensive. This is a Marfione custom Atreus, coming in at $2,535 right now.
For all those tactical situations at the country club.
Indeed, you never know when they're going to arise. 4-inch blade, M390 MK steel, and I do not want to touch it because it has got a mirror polish going on. It looks like there's a little piece of something on there. We'll have to make sure we brush it off very carefully so as to not disturb the finish. Titanium for the, aluminum for the handles. I was reading the site wrong. Titanium inlay on the front and the back that also gives some traction to the proceedings thanks to the milled lines. I almost called it fluting there. I guess technically you might be able to call it fluting. But that texture is carried through to the center fuller section of that double-edged blade too, which is very cool. We've got the modern, essentially their next generation, the next generation Microtech OTF action and build style here. The only external fastener we can see is holding the pocket clip in place here. Everything else nice and clean. Carbon fiber inlays too, didn't mention that. Carbon fiber switch as well. Very easy and nice to use, but man, can you hear that? Like the whole table is like shaking when I do this. So I've got my elbow right here. Can you hear that? I hope it comes through on the camera. That's pretty cool. It's a very awesome knife. It is a custom level piece, of course, carrying a custom level price tag. I don't think there are any just generic Microtech Atreus. Not that Microtech's generic. They're all Marfione customs at this point. At least that's what we have on the site right now. Talked about S9DV a second ago for really high stainless edge retention, for really, really high stainless edge retention. And I'm talking up there rivaling stuff like 10V and 15V on the carbon steel side of things. M398 is starting to show up on some of the Fox knives, including a couple new versions of the Chilin, I almost called it a flipper, the Chilin knife here, a Jesper Wagner's design. We have a full titanium, milled titanium handles, $275 for this with a 3.15-inch M398 blade. Superbly superbly high edge retention. Not an incredibly tough steel, like, even probably less tough than S90V. You do have a little bit of extra thickness on the blade here to bring some strength back into things, but phenomenal edge retention. The ergonomics on this are really nice too. The blade kicks down quite aggressively, so it's pretty easy to use the point of that knife. Deep carry, or not quite deep carry clip, but you do have a wire clip. We've also got, for about the same price, $271, a carbon fiber version. And I like the lightness of this carbon fiber version compared to the titanium. Both are very nice, but this has a more nimble feel as a result. Like this one is 3.6 ounces versus the titanium version's 5.22. So that tells you a little bit right there. M398, awesome steel. Haven't worked one in anger yet, but as we're starting to see more examples of that steel, I should probably pick one up and do some testing for myself. Next up, more affordable, but carrying similar design inspirations, not identical. This is the Jens Anso designed 02.0 from Fox, with clear Nesmuck inspiration, in my opinion anyway. $65 or $64.50 thereabouts for this one. Blade itself is 2 3/4 inches long. The steel is B-cut, which probably sits there near the top of the affordably available steels out there. Like I said, about $65 is not too pricey. You do have a mid-mounted lockback, making this, in combination with the reversible pocket clip here, a fully ambidextrous design. I love the closed profile. I just love what that hump brings to both that closed profile and the open profile. Action is not quick on this knife with the lockback and a very conventional feeling lockback and that thumb hole for opening, but it is quite easy, as you can see. Grip, 3 of my fingers fit in the standard section. I got a 4th finger on the back for manipulating the handle thusly, giving you some control there. It's a cool little size for a smaller knife, and frankly, the best blade shape in the world. Doesn't get much better than that.
Debatable.
It's a new year. Don't start with me, Thomas.
So many possibilities.
I also should mention GFN handles, injection molded with this cool texture in it. It gives you grip without being sharp or like grabby, which is nice. Next up, a few more small knives to take a look at. We have a lot of Fox on the table. We have another Fox Vox, another Vaknea's design, a new version of the Suru, 2 new versions of the Suru actually, with micarta handles and that M398 steel. $208 and some change for this one right here. 2.3-inch blade, pretty much all belly with that acute or sharp tip, I should say. 3-finger grip in the standard position. You do have a choil there to get a fuller grip on. For me, I want to make sure I'm careful because I have large fingers and I am getting a little close to that edge, but that's pretty much always the case because I do have kind of large fingers, so keep that in mind if you also have large digits. Wire clip, it is reversible. We've got an inset liner lock and ball bearings in the pivot. Flipping action is good, as all Surus have been. Reverse flicking action feels even better to me. Another great small knife, feels like it could take a bit of a beating thanks to the thickness of that blade steel. I wonder if they're putting this M398 on some things with a little bit thicker blades at the start, just to ensure, you might like risk it maybe with like a super thin blade. I don't know. Cool to see, however. Next up, one more Fox, then we'll take a break, and then we'll have more Fox. We have the another new version of the Italico, the second version with this drop point blade, and the first version of with this drop point blade to have a cleaner blade finish. The other version had a big, giant Fox logo on the front. I like the more subtle thing you get with this one right here. $121 and some change. 2.35-inch blade, N690 steel, injection molded handle with a 3-finger grip, but it feels secure in the hand, and there's something about this blade shape. I remarked on this before when we had that other version. It's just really speaking to me. It feels broad, yet precise at the same time. That's pretty cool. Wire pocket clip, rounding things out, single-sided in this case. Liner lock, ball bearings, flipping action, all come together with this Italico. The next small knife of the couple small knives we're looking at is a Spyderco. and it is the Manbug with its new Hawkbill blade shape, fully serrated right here, 62 bucks and some change. You've got VG10 steel here, which is capable stuff for sure. Injection molded handle. It's a little bit taller or wider than the Ladybug, which otherwise lengthwise is about the same as this. So it gives you an even better grip. The Ladybug has always felt pretty secure for me, even given its small size. The Manbug gives just a little bit more. 2.5 finger grip, but with the traction you get from that bidirectionally textured FRN and the shape overall, it does lock in pretty nicely. And the cool thing about this blade shape, I think, what I've been doing recently when I'm cutting down cardboard boxes for the recycling bin, I've been using one of those Hawkbill shaped utility blades, and it's real nice for being able to just set the cardboard down, reach out towards the front, and rip back with that Hawkbill shape. It's been working great, and I see this fulfilling a very similar role. If I were to pick one of these up, I think it would be fantastic for that sort of thing. The other advantage with the Hawkbill shape and the full serrations, fibrous materials especially don't stand a chance. Even though this is a small, 1.84 inch blade, that's gonna rip through cordage, straps, seat belts. No chance against that little guy right there. Easy to incorporate into a 5th pocket or on your keychain, 0.67 of an ounce. That is very easy to carry and secure with that lockback at the same time, which is nice. And still easy enough to open, even for larger hands like myself. Next, back to Fox with their BlackFox sub-brand, which their stuff tends to be a little more affordably priced than most of the Fox stuff. This is the Nix. This is a Matviv design, Grigory Matviv, coming in at about 76 bucks and some change right now. 2.17 inch blade, D2 steel with a full flat grind, fairly slicey for its stubby shape overall, and another very secure feeling knife in the hand. I mean, it's not crazy thin. You've got some width to it right there, and for me it offers, honestly, a good 3.5 finger grip, despite the overall small size. You can kind of see it right there. The bail sticking out here at the back is jimped and textured, so it gives something really positive for my pinky to grab onto when manipulating that blade. So that's pretty cool. Folded over deep carry pocket clip. It is reversible. And what else have we got? We've got a liner lock. We've got what feels, nope, it is ball bearings in the pivot. I was gonna say it almost feels like washers, but it's just a real tight set of bearings at this point. Let's check out the opening. We've got a front flipper and we've got a thumb hole. Which one should I try first, Thomas?
Whichever you're not going to do well.
I haven't front flipped this yet, so I don't know if it's going to go well for me, and I haven't reverse flicked it either. Let's try reverse flick first. Okay, that works. No problem. Dare I push my luck? Let's try the front flip. Hey, that's actually really snappy. As with all front flippers, I have to be pretty. I have to make sure I'm holding it comfortably, but that's working really well. I guess it's far enough away from the pivot there that, there's the first one. Oh, come on, man. I don't know, it works. Cool small knife with some big knife energy a little bit right there.
Another year, another front flipper.
Another front flip fail from DCA. The Momentum from Fox BlackFox, $48 for this. Fair bit of knife for your 48 bucks. 3 3/8 inch D2 Tonto blade. Technically compound grind, but both of them are flat. Actually, is that a compound grind or is that just a transition there? I guess
compound flat.
It's a new year. It's time to re-question my preconceived whatevers. Anyway, it's a Tonto blade. It's nice and narrow, so it should be pretty agile and pretty good for fitting into tighter places when you need it to. The handles are G10. We've got these orange accenting aluminum backspacers and or backspacer and pivot collars. Liner lock, ball bearings, flippers, the whole package you might expect. Flipping action is quite good. I mean, it feels like it's got some force when you flick it, which is really nice. And the handle, it works. You have a pretty full feeling grip, even though it's a narrow thing. It's boxy enough, I guess, there, where you feel like you could get some good work done with it. So there you go. Next up, there's sort of like sister models, I would say. We have the Artia, which is the narrower one, and the Acutus, which is the less narrower one right there. Also from Matviv, the same designer right there. The Artia right here comes in about 89 bucks. You got a 3.35 inch D2 blade, micarta handles with orange accents. I really like this one especially. I like the narrow, elegant profile of this, but it's not elegant in service of being like refined and like gentlemanly. It's just more for compactness, I would say. Blade is not super thin, should slice okay, but there are better slicers in the world. But you've got a narrower drop point profile for narrower cuts. Enough length there for a 4-finger grip for me. I like the manipulatability of this knife, if that makes sense. The ability to take it and just make it go where you want to go. That's what it feels like to me. It's ready to move in that respect. Deep carry pocket clip, reversible, as you can see. Let's check out the flipping action. Yeah, works good. Surprising no one. Yeah, works nice. The D2 is going to hold an edge pretty well for you. I like the angle here at the front. It's just really cool how close they got that to the pivot in this case, making things feel really pushed to the max, which is quite nice. If you'd rather have the thicker profile, we do have the Acutus. This is about $80. So it's actually a tiny bit cheaper, even though it's almost more material overall than the narrower one. That's interesting. Well, this does have the Artia has micarta, the Acutus has G10. That might be the explanation of difference right there. $80 for this one as well. There's an all blacked out version of this one, or an almost all blacked out version of this one, and of the Artia. You could check both of those out if you don't like the green and orange. But like I said, 80 bucks, a broader drop point profile here, maybe a bit more suited to outdoorsy use perhaps. Or if you just like a broader shape in general, the slicing geometry should actually feel a little bit better, since thickness-wise, they're about the same between the two, but because the grind panels here are going to be thinner overall, or a more acute angle, that might help in certain scenarios. And you do have a more hand-filling grip on this version as well. It's pretty much the same shape, just fattened out a bit. Inset liner lock on this version instead of the non-inset liners of the Artia. Flipping action, likewise, feels very good, however. There you go. Next up, the last Fox today, we have the Sneaky. The Sneaky version right here. 45 bucks and some change for this wood-handled version. I'm not sure what kind of wood it is. It just says wood on the site at the moment. But for the same price, you could also get an OD green G10 with orange accents. Both of them have the orange accents, in fact. Blade steel is D2, 3.44 inches with, let's see, technically not a trailing point. I'd call that straight back, but there's actually just a hint of drop going on. I think that's not really intentional. It feels kind of like a straight backed profile. But you've got plenty of belly on that, of course, with the full flat grind there as well, and a nice swedge right in front of the opening hole there. In fact, I really like the few things you've got going on. You can see the top of the primary grind, or the plunge line right here, peeking out above the hole, and then the start of the swedge right at the top of the hole. It creates this extra little shape there, which is pretty neat looking, pretty satisfying to look at. Let's see how well it uses, however. Let's try to reverse flick it. Haven't done this yet. There you go, that worked. But you've got the flipper tab there for much more convenient opening. The reverse flick works, but it is a little close in there to the handle, so you gotta be a little more careful doing it. We'll do it when you want it to, however. Deep carry clip, not reversible in this case. It is inset with flush head screws, however, so it's executed very, very nicely. This should be a really cool slicey blade if that's what you're after. Great profile for it. And last but not least, we have the new HK line of knives that are now being made by Boker instead of, Hogue used to make the HK products, but they were made in the USA, more premium price, and I think HK wanted to bring some more affordably priced options in their line out. So they've partnered with Boker going forward, and this is the first folder to have hit the site from that collaboration. This is the SFP Tactical Liner Lock folder. It's about 50 bucks. with a 3.6-inch D2 blade, injection molded handle. It's got a bit of a rubbery texture here on these inlays, which should give you some extra traction. Hard plastic up here as well. Finger grooves on here are, I would say, a bit on the small side for me. So that's something, whenever you have a design like this that is aggressively finger grooved, it's going to limit some of the hand sizes that might be able to use it a little bit. If you have fat fingers or large hands, I don't think this is it's not going to be the best thing out there. Like I said, I'm a bit cramped in there. I don't know how well that's going to come across from this shot right here, but in hand, doesn't quite mesh up. Your mileage may, of course, vary. If you want something with the aggressive grip provided by a full set of finger grooves like that, there's not as many options on the market nowadays as there once were. So if that's your thing, it's got it in spades right here. We have got an ambidextrous thumb plate for opening, which works quite well, as you can see. Washers in the pivot here instead of ball bearings. They are nylon washers, it looks like. So it's going to be pretty good for rough and tumble environments where things might get dusty, gritty, dirty, and not necessarily cleaned out as regularly. This is going to be a decent option there. Deep carry pocket clip. It is not reversible, and the heads of the screws there look a little proud, so that might be a little tight getting into certain pairs of pants as well. Blade itself, drop point, hollow grind, D2 steel. It's going to get the job done. What more do you want to know? There you go. There's a fixed blade as well, but we were sold out on filming day today, so hopefully I'll have that maybe next week or the week after once we get some more in. That's all we've got for today. However, let me know what you thought down in the comments below, and if you want to get your hands on any of these, we'll leave links in the description below. That'll take you to KnifeCenter.com, where in addition to our long-running Knife Rewards program, don't miss out on new payment options, including Sezzle that we've added to the site, so you can split payments up into more manageable chunks if you need to. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera. We're signing off. Happy New Year, everyone.